Well, he's back.
Gentlemen, hey, what is up? I first want to
Good
appreciate
morning.
all of your patience. Life be life, man. We had to make sure we got us all linked up before we could come out live to you today on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. So, for those of you that might be joining us for the first time, let me give you a quick little rundown of what we do here and what we're about here. And We Outside. We Outside is simply a conversation live cast where we just meet dope, authentic, original people to have a conversation with. And that's exactly what we're doing today because we keep it real, we
Damn
keep it
right.
authentic, and nothing is off limits when we outside. And today we got a brother out of Sacramento, John Windham, who opened that door and joined us today. John's got a beautiful story. I got to meet John about 3 weeks ago. I came to know John from his interview that he took part of in conversation with the Courtney Richardson's Holding Court podcast. Shout out to Big Court for sure. And what really struck me, I listen to the universe. John and I have talked about this. Discreet, you and I
Mm.
subscribe to the same thing, right?
Basically.
And what really struck me about John, you as a human being, there was one like reel that I had seen from that conversation that you were on. And Big Core asked the question something along the lines of, what's it really mean to be a gangster? And I love your definition of what it means to be a gangster, bro. Like I was like, oh my god, I was like, yo, that's as real as shit gets, and like this dude gets it. And then of course, when the universe strikes me with an individual such as yourself, I start doing a little more digging because I'm intrigued by individuals such as yourself, very much so. And then I got to learn about what you're doing with the Youth Against Violence Alliance, YAVA, out that way as well. And we're very much going to talk about that today. But honestly, like we could probably make a conversation with you like a short series. We outside here because you got a lot to talk about. But with that said, that's my introduction to Mr. John Wyndham here. But John, I want you certainly to take a moment or two and just let the outsiders out here today know who you are and what you're about, man. And we'll just get into some free flowing conversation right from there.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, brother, man. My name is John Windham. I'm known to most as Dunie. Um, First and foremost, I'm my mama's baby, man. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So when I talk, I speak from the representation of who my mama raised, not who I was in the street. I had to get back, right, through that journey of 31 years in prison, right? I had to get back to who my mama raised,
Yeah.
right?
Um,
So that's John, right? But that's Dooney
yeah.
too, because she gave me that name, right? But I had to change what I represented. So today, you know, I try I try to I try to walk and be a model, right? 24 hours a day, right?
Mm.
Because I know as a kid growing up and all I was exposed to as a kid, um, the old dudes can tell me anything, but I saw what they were doing. They can say anything they want, but I was one of them kids that saw everything they were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Definitely. Mm.
and so that told me a lot. Like if I'm gonna walk a walk and say that I'm here to represent my community and to represent the children and to represent the women in my community and represent my mother and my family, I gotta walk that same walk 24 hours a day.
Too
I
true.
can't I can't change my walk.
No.
Not for a minute. Because it was 1 minute that it took for me to see what that older cat was doing, right? That's all it took. Some of it was 30 seconds.
Mm.
And it's forever imprinted on my brain.
Those first
So I can
impressions,
never
right?
be one of those people that does something to be a forever a bad impression or imprint on my youth or a woman or an elder's brain. So for the community, period. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I went into the monastery for 31 years, and I say monastery because um there was not a day that I was locked up.
No. Oh,
We lost
no
John.
way,
He
man.
oh,
That
hold on,
was
no, hold
getting
on,
him
hold on, no, no,
like,
hold on, no, here we go.
oh,
Hold on. We got him. We got him.
We back.
All right, there
we're
we go.
back.
There we go. Sorry, you were
Yeah.
saying you were never locked up in the monastery. Is where we
Nah,
lost you real
I'm.
quick there.
Some people call it prison, but
Mm,
I'm claustrophobic. I can't do prison. I was in a monastery. Prison is of the mind, man.
yeah.
Has nothing to do with the physical. No one can lock up your mind. You have to allow that, right? You have to incarcerate yourself in order to be incarcerated.
It's a
Mm,
very true story.
You know?
mm,
So I so and so I was free and doing um that learning of self, uh understanding what my purpose was, understanding what God's purpose for me was, and getting to know God.
mm,
I think the things that's happening out in our communities and out in our world is that we're taking God out of everything, bro. And man is making decisions and choices based on man. Not good.
I would have to agree with that, man. And you and I talked briefly last night. We were on some zombie movie shit last night, right? And
Mhm,
we watched World War Z last night, and
mhm.
then in intermission is when you and I chopped it up real quick to get everything
Yeah,
set for this morning.
yeah.
And then we watched I Am Legend. And the premise of both of those movies is that the destruction of mankind as we essentially know it or knew it,
Mm,
in those movies was caused by man themselves. And to what you just said and what those movies interpret, life imitates art, art imitates life, right? So
mhm.
there's got to be some kind of truth there, right? And I very much subscribe to that, man. Like we're our own worst downfall, which very
Mhm,
much speaks to what you were speaking about. And I love the way, because when I talked to Discreet about how you put it
mm,
yesterday, I spoke with my wife last night, John. I think that's the strongest way that one person could perceive anything in life. You went to 31 years and spent it in a monastery. You were never imprisoned because you didn't let yourself, like you didn't let society tell you
that
what
I'm
your
a
life
convict,
was.
that
You
I'm an
know, like
inmate, that I'm any of that. I didn't subscribe to none of that.
nor should you have, nor should you have. And
I
I
didn't
think
even
that's
answer. I just keep walking.
mm. But it's all, like
Oh,
John said
Windham.
though.
Oh, me. Oh, Windham. Oh, me. Oh, you talking to me? Okay, I didn't know you were talking.
well, and I love it because that's what life is about, right? Creating your own lane, not letting other people tell you who you are or what you are or how you should move. Like it's about, and you and I talked about this, like you know, at the bare minimum, having a respect for a person. We might not like everybody that we encounter in life, but you know
Mm,
what? That's okay. That is okay. But there has to be a certain foundation of respect when it comes
yeah.
down to it, right? And I have very much gotten that genuinely from you from the conversations that we've had as well. And I think it's just sometimes so simple that if people just did that bare minimum thing, um,
Mm,
the world as a whole would just be better because we could have the difference of opinions. We don't have to like each other. But if there's a foundational respect, I mean, you and I spoke about it last night. Like, in the 31 years in the monastery, you never really got into some bullshit because and
No.
there's another story that I think brings to this context as well, where we talked about 2 weeks ago, and you were out working with this younger dude, and like people that you didn't even know were just coming up to you and be like, "Yo, what's up, man? Yo, what's up, man?" And this dude's like, "Yo, dude, do you know these people?" He's like, "Yo, I don't," and you were like, "I don't know, not a one of them," but he's like, "My vibrations, my smile, my vibe that I'm giving off, people know that I'm a real genuine person because they feed off of that energy." And
And
that's one
that's
of the things that attracted me to your personality in that conversation, and very much has been elevated since we've got to know each other more as well, man. So I want to thank you for that, and just kind of see what your
sure.
thoughts are on general in
I
that
mean,
sense.
I feel like people say the youth are crazy, they're afraid of the youth and all that. That's not my story. because one thing I understand is energy.
Mm.
And I don't care what someone else's energy is. I'm not going to match their energy if it's a negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I never approach anyone with negative energy. That go for you. If
Yeah,
you having a problem with that youth, is that you're matching his negative energy, and that's what you shouldn't do as an adult.
exactly.
They playing off your energy.
And John saying that it's like we all struggle sometimes, and like nowadays, I'm good at realizing when I'm getting negative thoughts, and when I become aware of it, I tell myself, like, Rob, stop that, fucking stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Thoughts
but
are
a lot
thoughts
of
are like
young people
raindrops,
don't
right?
realize they're there. Sorry.
Thoughts are like raindrops, right? They're gonna
Yeah.
come, right?
Mm.
But how many raindrops do you grab and hold on to in your hand,
A
right?
few.
And it's the
A
same as
few
your thought.
sometimes.
If you grab and
Yeah.
hold on to that thought, you give it life. You give it
Yeah.
meaning. Otherwise, it's
Mm.
meaningless. It's just a thought. It's something that will pass until you give it
Yeah.
life. And so
That is so true.
we're not in school teaching our kids how, or our young men or young ladies, how to think.
Mm.
We're not teaching them about, right, how thoughts will happen, but that don't mean that that they're actually truth and reality. Their thoughts, they're acting on them because they think that's truth.
Mm.
But I want you to know history though. What
Yeah.
about the history of self? What about the understanding of self? Why wouldn't we teach that to our children?
Because
I
yeah,
agree. We
I
we
know
we talked about this a little bit.
it gets deep.
Discreet.
Yeah.
Oh, go. Sorry. Go ahead, discreet.
No, it gets deep. It's there's certain things they don't want us to realize. Eventually, we do realize when we get to our late 30s, 40s, 50s. But they don't want us knowing when we're in our late teens, our early 20s. They don't want us to realize these things. And if people tell you at that age, you're just going to go fuck off. What a load of shite
Mhm,
that is, because that's what they teach us in schools to believe, that
mhm.
you can't
It's
make
exact.
it.
It's
They
exactly what we spoke about briefly with Doe Fresh to Don on Thursday's show.
Mm.
Discreet. The conditioning. We are
Yeah,
conditioned as
yeah,
individuals, and it's really a matter of we can only control the information. I mean, we can't. Excuse me. Let me put it this way: we cannot control the information that's coming out from certain channels, right? Whatever it is today or in the past, before all the channels that we have now available to us and everybody as a whole.
mm.
But we can control how we filter that information.
Yeah.
Like John was saying earlier, it's about knowing, it's about researching, it's about like you've got to know what's going on before you're going to take in somebody else's thought or interpretation of something
Mm.
and subscribe to it, because you got to know what the fuck you're signing up for and what you're subscribing to, because otherwise that's how you get conditioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if anyone who can get through to a young child and make them realize what's really going on,
Mhm.
that's like one of the biggest achievements you'll ever have in your life, because it's so hard these days.
Well,
But
it's
to do
really
it,
not.
just
I say
no.
for me, I didn't have a father in my life, like a dad, like
Mm.
at all, right? He was not present, right? So
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
like for me, like I always want that. I'm 54 and I still want that.
Mm.
So we got to remember what we were like when we were kids and what we wanted as young boys
Mm.
and what we needed.
Mm.
That's the
Absolutely.
antidote. Give what you wanted and what you needed that you didn't get or that you wanted when you was a child to every boy.
Mm.
Don't have
It's
to be a father.
No,
man, so true.
no, no.
So true.
You
Because at
say
the end
there's
of the
not a book.
day,
Yes, there is. There's a book. We've been where they haven't been, bro. We've been where they're trying to
Mm.
go.
Yeah, exactly.
And we
But
know what
one
we
bit of
wanted as young men, right? We
I
know
always
we
find,
wanted as boys and needed.
yeah, yeah. One of the funny
That's
sides
all
of
I did,
parenting I
bro.
always find is telling a child that you were their age once, and the way they look at you like, oh yeah, shit, you were.
Yeah,
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 it's always
yeah.
funny, that is.
It
And
is,
that's go ahead.
oh no, please, John, after you.
Yeah, yeah.
No, speak, brother. I want to hear what you got to say, brother.
No, I appreciate that. Now, I was just gonna say, to add on to the comment that you just last made, like you don't have to be that direct individual's father or mother or direct kin, right? Like I live by a saying, blood makes you related, loyalty is family, right? And if you have
Yeah.
something that you can share with, especially the youth, let alone just another individual as well, to Discreet's point, to
Mm.
kind of tie them both together, and having an influence on a young individual's mind, even if they don't get it right in the moment or right
Mm.
immediately when you're trying to share that experience with them. I think because we listen, at the end of the day, I think we can all foundationally agree, at least the people that get it, right? We're all connected. We're all human beings. We're all brothers and sisters
We're all
along the
related.
way. We
Right.
are. That's just a
We
fact.
must
Like
be.
the universe connects us. That's just the way it is. I subscribe to that 100%.
Yeah.
And again, to your point, John, it doesn't mean that you can't share that experience with somebody at all. And Discreet, the thing that jumps out to me is what we did with Kevon last week. Like it's it's just about
Speaking a lot
giving
to him, man.
people,
He's
it's
getting on
about
good.
giving people, it's about just giving people the tools that way they can hopefully experience a beautiful thing that you've experienced. And not to say that we're going to completely take away their challenges. I think people have to go and experience some challenges to really get it in life in the long run. But if we can help
Just
them
quickly,
minimize that challenge just a little bit, why not?
have you spoke to Kevon?
Yeah, I actually spoke to him like two
Oh,
days
you have.
ago.
Good. He's getting on
Yes,
really well, man.
yes.
He's setting up always having socials and always profiles. I was glad to hear from him the other day.
No, he is. No, he's and that actually brings me to my next question for you, John.
This
Yeah.
Was there a certain point, whether directly in the 31 years in the monastery, or when you were looking to get out, that you were just like, hey man, I want to take my experiences and I want to share that with the youth, because we're certainly going to get into to the Yava organization that you've got going on. But I'm curious, before we get into that, where did that the origination of kind of that feeling of helping that next one, and specifically the youth, how did that really come to fruition for
I've,
you?
I've always been that way, man. I was one of them kids, man. Like starting at like 8 or 9, I made my own soccer team, bro. I went and got the kids that I know can play soccer and created my team. I went and got,
Awesome.
you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
went and got
yeah.
2 white cats that didn't nobody mess with. I do. They play soccer. I went and got the fat, fat Asian cat and the big old
Mm.
brother. You know what I'm saying? And we made our
Yep.
team, bro. And when I went and got the girl, the pudgy little girl, and put her on the soccer team and made her the goalie. You know what I'm saying?
No
Um,
way. I've got a
I've
similar
been that
story
way.
to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been that way. I've always been a people person, right? But after going through the experience of juvenile and going through boys ranch, the youth authority, and then to prison, I understand exactly what these people, this system will do to you. They will lock your ass up for nothing. And they can't tell me that
Mm.
they won't. Understanding my experience going through what I went through, I'd be damned if I'm another young man or another young lady from getting ensnared into that system.
Mhm.
Mm.
They started, I was the dude, the prison pipeline. They started with me in elementary. They get you. There's nothing. You're on probation. They can snatch you anytime they want to.
Mm.
No longer because you're.
Man, that.
And so I just refuse to allow my young brothers and sisters to get ensnared because of their hurt or because of trauma or because of not knowing how to deal and cope and manage their emotions, bro.
Innit?
We gotta show them the light. I think that's our duty, man. I think
I
man,
put a post on Facebook this morning. I don't know if you've seen it, Mike, on my personal profile. You might have seen it, but it does touch on what John just said, to be honest.
I haven't seen it yet, honestly. Discreet. I'm not
You'll
seen it
see
yet.
it.
What was the what was well, just share with
It's,
the outsiders. What was it about? Don't
I can't
keep
say
that
it word
back.
for word, but it's a woman giving a speech on men's mental health, basically. And
Mhm.
some of the shit she says, oh my god, it's like go back later on. Go and watch it. It's like 3 posts down or something.
We have
Well,
this
I think
saying, right? We coined inside, and because we all understand it, we all identify with it, and that's that hurt people hurt people. And once we start like rationalizing and understanding that, right? That's doing that path of healing for yourself, though. That you understand that you hurt people because you was hurt. Now you understand that hurt people hurt people. So until they heal, they're gonna continue to hurt and harm people and themselves.
because they don't know any other way. They don't know how to let that light in. And
I want to inflict pain on people like they inflicted on me. It's like it's something like a natural instinct, right? What it seems, because it's so high a volume of people that do it, right? It's a high percentage, right? I just say I haven't met anybody that was happy that hurt anybody.
No.
One of you or anybody else watching this, have any of y'all ever seen anybody happy hurt somebody?
No.
Nope.
Huh.
Nope. And you know, it's different too, because like I used to live a life where alcohol ruled my life, right? It'll be actually in like a week, it'll be 3 years where I haven't had a sip, right? And that of course always exacerbated my thoughts and feelings, even when I like literally like in the moment when I was like not under the influence in the moment, that stuff was still poisoning my mind, right? And it was always just an easy coping mechanism for me to do what you said, John, was not being happy with myself and my situation, and then like for some subconscious or maybe even in the moment conscious reason, hurting somebody to get on my level felt right in the moment. But when you look back at this, like, damn, that's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. And now being 3 years sober, it does not happen anywhere close. It still happens sometimes because we're human. That negativity sometimes gets into our mind, but then it's being self-aware to realize and get it out of your mind. But the point of that being, the more consistently happy you could be and having the right mindset in general, you're not going to be doing that to people. You're not. That's not now the norm for you, as well. And I think something that you said earlier, it's really in the mind. It's the mindset that you put yourself in, and as long as you're free in your mind, you're happy in your mind, then you're gonna have nothing but a positive influence on every person that you end up meeting, whether they want that to be a positive influence or not.
I mean, negativity takes so much energy, bro.
It does.
It exacerbates you, but yet we still do it to the point of death.
Yep.
So we stress ourselves out. We get cancer, we get hypertension, we get high blood pressure, we get diabetes, we stress ourselves out, right? When we don't even have to. It's a choice.
I realise,
right?
I'm always trying to stop myself, but it's so hard, isn't it? But I think that's just part of a human being in life. This part of life, anyway.
I just try to forgive.
Because I tell you what, right?
Let God, bro.
Yeah, I like when I was younger. Like it's a weird thing when I tell people this, but there's a little part of me that's a little bit excited about dying because I'm looking forward to that next bit. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do anything to myself, but there's an element of it that excites me.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Well, I think, well, it does. It does for me in the
Yeah.
sense, discreet. I take it in the context of you being so self-aware,
Yeah.
in the sense that, at one point, I'm going to pass. Like nobody lives forever, right? So I think, at least for me, because I kind of subscribe to that in the sense that, like, knowing that I'm aware of that, well,
It's
I'm
what it's about
thankful. I'm
learning.
grateful for every moment. Yes, I'm grateful for every moment that I get and learning opportunity that I get in this life with the time that I do have. Eventually that's going to go away, but that ties back into, and John, you and I were talking about this last night briefly. What legacy are you leaving? Right.
Mm.
So, because people, what I forget what the exact saying is, but people don't know you until you're gone, or don't really miss you until you're actually gone, or something along those lines, right? And I like it from the excitement of, what's my legacy going to be when I'm gone. John said it beautifully. You're writing what you're essentially going to, what goes on your tombstone. You're writing that story.
Yes.
You are writing that
Mm.
story, and it's about what you do here as far as what people are going to think about you when you can't make an impact on that anymore because you're gone physically. Anyways,
Mm.
you know what I mean. And I think, John, you, like you said at the top of this conversation, you walk it like you talk it, man. And with what you're doing with Yaba, I want to shift there right quick, if I could. The Youth Against Violence Alliance. What has that experience been like for you? Because, and I asked that specifically because you clearly, you just emulate that throughout every single 24 hours and 7 days of the week, 365 days a year in your life, right? How does that translate over to that, what you're doing with the Youth Against Violence Alliance, and what's so special about that organization to you?
Well, for Youth Against Violence Alliance, right? I mentor through gardening, right? Because what I understand is that, like I said, our young men and young women need coping skills, right? And they need to
Mm.
understand how to navigate this world without operating out of emotion and off of emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is the mind is tantamount to that of a garden, right? It like if you don't tend to your garden, right, weeds will grow, right? If you don't tend to your grass, weeds will grow. Something will grow that you don't like. And it's not plums or peaches or cucumbers. None of that's gonna grow.
Nothing that's not
It's
going to be of
always
true,
gonna
true
be
value, right?
weed, right? Yes. So so what we have to do is teach our children to be gardeners of their own mind, to be
Mm.
careful of those thoughts, to be conscious of those thoughts, right? And to
Mm.
understand how to let go of negative thoughts. They have to learn to let go of things that don't meet their needs in the end.
Mm.
Not right now, but not meet their needs in the end. Because what
That.
our children is doing, they're trading short term. They're taking short term pain, right? And thinking it's a long term gain. No, it's long term pain for a short term gain. Because it feels
Mm.
good when you do what you do initially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels good. Like, oh, I punched him or I shot him. It feels good until you land in the county jail or the juvenile
Mm.
hall and you wake up 2 days later, that feeling is gone.
Mm.
Now's the consequences for the rest of your life for temporary gratification.
Mm.
I know I sold out for temporary gratification so many times because it felt
Mm.
good to just do what I was gonna do, right?
That instant gratification, right?
Instant
Mm.
gratification, bro. And look at the media, bro. Look at the likes.
Yeah,
Mm.
It's that
it's
same center of the brain that they activating, bro.
that conditioning. That conditioning.
Yeah.
That's not something that happens overnight. This is something that has been, to some extent, planned for
Yes,
A
sir.
long time, because it's the programming. You don't just show up one night and you're like, this is how we're gonna move the masses, right?
Mhm.
Like
No, that's, I
it's
mean, so what we have to do, like, we have to be what they hear on podcasts and on all these channels and everything, right? And all these sites.
hmm
We have to be pumping our message in the way they pumping that garbage in. And so they can
Mm.
counter it, so the kids can have something to counteract it with. Otherwise, they keep hearing what they're hearing. It's true. Think
because
about Trump. Just think, I'm not trying to get political, but I'm saying,
no, go
if
for
you
it. We
say
outside. We
something
can have a
long enough,
conversation about anything.
if you say something long enough, people will believe it.
Yeah, that is so true.
Well, it's like the good old
That's
saying,
what's
right?
happening with our kids.
100%. You tell the pretty girl, everybody, the perceived pretty girl, that she's ugly enough. Eventually, she's
Hmm.
gonna think she's ugly. So like
Hmm.
it's
Mm.
that's the thing. The manipulation
Yes.
really happens over a long period of time. The conditioning, the
Yes.
programming.
Hmm.
It's like
You know,
I hear a lot of girls who think they say, "Oh, I need to lose a bit of weight," and you look at them and you think, "You're fine. You're like lovely. Where are you getting this from that you need to lose weight?" It's crazy.
Mass mass media manipulation, right? They
Mm.
teach it in college, bro.
Mm.
yep.
They teach you how the media manipulates the people, bro.
Mm.
They teach you that and still do it.
It's think about it. Think about it. For
That's
me, with
bold,
you
bro.
saying that, it's almost like a grand recruitment scheme, right? Because think about it. Like you start out at school in kindergarten. Like I know they do it slightly different than when I was in kindergarten a number of years ago. But like you're getting grades
Mhm.
like at 5 years old. Like, is that really that necessary? But again, there's a record of you now all along the way, right? All the way to what, like you
There's
said,
a record of to say who's gonna be the best worker at McDonald's, bro.
yep.
Yeah.
Who's
It's
going to
not
be the
saying
best
who's
candidate
gonna be the
help
best
me move my
entrepreneur, bro.
agenda? Yep.
Who's going to
Yep.
be the best engineer?
Our schools is designed to create money, which we're making little machines. We're taking our kids and making little machines, little robots for all these major corporations and businesses, bro. Why wouldn't they teach our children to be who they are first, right?
hmm
And then teach them, right, how to be entrepreneurs.
And
Because
because they
they're
don't
afraid
want
of
Wouldn't
needing
that
too many of
benefit?
those things.
Exactly.
I
That
will.
what
I will say there is there. I always think right. Like there is some sinister shit that goes on in government, but we all think deeply as we get older. If you made everybody on the planet rich, the world wouldn't actually work. I don't think.
hmm.
If everyone was rich, things wouldn't work properly. So
Why? Because
it's a
everyone is
difficult.
equal.
No, no, no. Just because. I
Mhm.
mean, I tell you what, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I say this because my theory is, if everyone's rich, who's going to work in the milk factory? Like, I mean, you got to find a lot of people with the right mindset, rich people to
Just,
work in a mine who's already rich to work in the milk
bro,
factory, for instance.
eyesight is what you see. Mindsight is how
Mm,
you see what you're seeing. Just take away the currency, bro. We barter, bro. We gonna
that's the
start
trick.
bartering.
Take away the
We gonna
money.
start working with each other. Take away the dollar,
Yeah,
bro.
yes, that would work.
The work will
That's where it
stop.
works.
The control will stop. The
Yes,
manipulation will
I
stop.
totally agree. Yeah,
The
we can
treachery will
live like
stop.
that as well. We could live like that with no money. It could
Yeah,
work,
Oh, absolutely.
we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course
but
we
they
can.
won't allow it.
That was
It
created.
doesn't work for them. It don't work for them though, does it?
The money's another institution, like all
Yeah,
the
and they
other
lose
institutions.
control then. Yeah, and then they lose control.
We will be
And that's
equal.
yes.
Mm,
And people don't want that because for some
If
people they have to have that feeling of power and being above
Mm.
somebody else, because they're looking at things completely incorrectly. But you got to think about it too. There was a time that we lived off of a barter system. There was a time where there was
Yeah.
no money, and
Mm.
things progress. I think things can regress in the right way. But again, to your point, discreet, like, and what John's talking about as well, like, could it be done? Yes, but it's going to take generations and generations and
Oh,
generations and
definitely.
generations. Because there's such a stronghold on how the world and society moves in general. Like, we talked about this discreet. I'm a firm believer that
Mm.
whoever's running shit, like, they are purposely classifying individuals. Whether it's culturally, socioeconomically, politically. Like, think about it. Like, down to sports teams, down to sports teams. Like, I'm a Red Sox fan. Okay, I'm a Boston Red Sox fan. Who's the biggest rival of the Boston Red Sox? The New York Yankees. I've been in Yankee Stadium, okay, where Yankees fans are literally throwing hot dogs at 3 and 4 year old Red Sox fans. Like, that's just
Yeah.
sick, man. But again, society puts us on. If a large group of people, let's just call it the Yankees fans. I'm not hating. I'm just using this as an example, people. But
Yeah.
if the vast majority of Yankees fans are perceived as assholes who are going to throw hot dogs at 3 and 4 year old kids, well, then we got a
Mm.
bigger problem with what's going on in society. If a sports team, something that really doesn't even
Yeah.
really matter in the grand scheme of life, if like, come on, man, like,
It's like you say, it's going
then
to take generations.
Well, you have to remember all these sports, bro. Remember way back, bro, centuries ago, bro, when they had those
Roman,
lion
Roman
cage.
Colosseums,
Yeah, it's the same thing, bro.
entertainment.
yes,
Yeah.
It's
It's
modern day
entertainment.
entertainment, bro.
It's to keep the masses from thinking about what's really going on.
I play sports, but I don't watch them, bro.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when I play sports, I don't play to hurt nobody, bro. I play by the rules, bro.
But
Because it's
I
about
think
competition, right? And
it
and just
also
bettering
When I
gives.
play
yourself.
football, I could break somebody in half if I wanted to. That ain't my
Mm-hmm.
job.
No.
My job is to make sure he and I make it home. But we're gonna play this
Yeah.
game and I gotta tackle you. But I'm gonna make sure that when I do it, that we both get back up.
Mm.
I'm not gonna be nobody's, a source of entertainment, right? If they could just give us knives and guns and in there with that, they'd do that with
Yeah.
knife with big clubs with
Very
and
much so.
everything
And
else to
and then
say,
they're just sitting there
go
like
ahead, do it.
Homeboy and Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
You got, again, not to get political again, but you got Trump out here talking about like a version of his version of the Purge, like earlier this
Yeah.
week. Like, what? Like,
Bro,
come
Crazy.
on. Are
I
we
don't I
really
mean,
talking?
when I say, I grew up in Sacramento, man, and been exposed to a lot out here, bro. Uh,
Shout out,
I could say, huh?
shout out to the sack.
Man, bro, when I say the fear of the black planet is real, when you saw that White House stormed, it was the
Mm.
fear of the black planet.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
If we lose control and this happens, we're done. Why would you be
Mm.
done? You would be done now.
Very
But
fair point. Very fair
the it,
point.
it's what someone it's the story that people tell themselves again, not just children, people. You can
Yeah.
make anything reality and real to the point that you have panic attack and anxiety as if it's happening right there to you at that very moment.
Yeah.
If you don't control your thought,
Well,
Mm.
and it's funny because when you talk about fear and instilling fear, and a lot of people choose to lead by fear, which is pretty much a well that you as an individual can only go to once, right? Fear,
It's the
if you really
strongest.
think about it, it's just a thought. It's not necessarily happening to you. It's the
Mm.
thought of something
Yeah.
happening, or even if you think about something that's happened in the past. Why am
Well,
I
you think
fearing
it's going
something
to
that's
happen.
happened in the past? But you're right, because you let your mind and those thoughts, those raindrops, as you put it earlier, John, you let them really take control of you enough. You're literally letting, in the context of this conversation, you're literally letting nothing control how you move, what decisions you're going to make, and how you're maybe in general going to foundationally live your life. And that's, if you think about that for a second, that's really twisted. It's really twisted.
Yeah.
I think Tupac said it, that fear is stronger than love, but as long as you're aware of it, love can beat it.
Fear is nothing more than what people know about themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
No one knows what you fear, bro.
Mm.
Only you
Fear is
do in
what
the end.
someone knows about themselves, bro.
It's so true.
And then it's just a matter of if you're going to let other people around you know that. So again, even when you have those things going on, it's a matter of if you're sharing that with people
Mm.
Right.
or not. Like all these people
Well,
going
that's
out on
about
social media.
communication, right? And
Yes.
communication is a skill. We say, why is these kids killing? Why is all this happening? Communication is a skill set.
Mm.
We're not teaching communication skills in school. We're
Nope.
not teaching how to communicate and how to relate to the next man and how to all that. It's a skill. That not everyone is born with that ability. They're communicating. They just do it with guns.
Yeah. Just in a
They're
completely
communicating.
different way.
They're communicating though. In you know,
And
in their world, they're communicating, but they're not doing it verbally.
No.
When were they taught how to communicate verbally? I was speaking to my girlfriend the other day, and we was talking about how like when parents get into it inside the house, like a mother and a father, the parents get into it, they go in the room, right? And the kid never gets to see how that problem was resolved or how to
No.
resolve conflict because they go in a room and hide.
mhm. It's and that's
So you
crazy because
you're
oh
not
no, no.
teaching your children how to communicate. You're teaching them there's a problem, but not how to solve it. That's the
Mm.
perfect
Which
opportunity.
and
Oh,
you're right.
or do we go hide because the man or a woman wants to go behind the doors and do something that they don't want or say something that they don't want the child to see or hear?
And and what you're saying really hits me, John, from the perspective of thinking about my upbringing and my parents, because they did exactly stuff like that. And I always struggled once I got older with conflict resolution because of the fact that they did kind of the similar but opposite in a way. Because like what my perception was, I'll give you my perception of that because I don't know exactly what they did and how they resolved it in the end, right? But what my perception was, like things would go on like quiet in my house, tension, eggshells, days, sometimes a week at a time, and then I just wake up the next day and then everything's okay. And so like I got to the point, like I was, again, we talked about conditioning earlier in this conversation. I got conditioned with respect to all relationships of any kind, with a friend, a coworker, a girlfriend, a wife, whatever the case may be, where it's like,
Time of healing.
nah, it's okay. I can go and mouth off all I want, say whatever I want, make them feel however I want, because in just a couple of days, the feeling's just going to go away. And while that may be, you've never resolved what actually happened to begin with. And again, over time, that's going to build up and build up
It's
and
like
build up.
collecting stamps. How long do you collect stamps before you turn them in, bro?
Yep, it's true. It's
Stamp
true, and I'm
collectors,
glad I was
bro.
able to break that cycle, because
Yeah,
that was not a
yeah.
good way to live. Those do
Nah.
not those do not give and produce valuable relationships in life of any kind.
What we say is, and it's so sad, is that's how I was raised. Well, just because that's how you was raised, damn it, don't make it right for you to continue to do the same thing that was
Correct.
done to you that wasn't right, bro.
Mm.
Right? You change that.
Mm-hmm. And that's through being
But no,
self-aware, like you were
we
talking about
continue in
earlier.
the cycle, whatever it was,
Yes,
however we was raised, we just continue to do that and
because
inflict that
that's just
upon
what we
our
know.
children and then our babies. And no, now we know better. We just choosing not to. Damn it,
Yes,
you're not treating yourself like that,
because you have a
so you
choice.
know
You
better.
do. And that's the life experiences, which I think is beautiful. Like if you have your eyes open just even enough, and you're self-aware enough, you're going to pick some things up. You're going to move maybe a little differently, which is, kind of what you talked about in the beginning too, going through the experiences that you've gone through in life. And I'm the same way, Discreet's the same way, taking, coming out on the other side of things, right? But be able to taking those experiences and share that with people, right? To give them that education that society doesn't want to give them, giving them the reality that society, because especially today, we live in a world where everybody gets a participation trophy, right? Like, yo, that's not that's not how the world works,
That's
man.
not the truth, man. Well, I mean, yeah, he talked about that too. It's like, man, I don't. If my kid can't sing, I'm not putting him on Star Search. He's not going to The
Yes.
Voice, bro. Son, this is not your gift right here, though. We're not gonna do that. But you kick a pretty damn good soccer ball. I'm
Yep.
finna go
Yeah.
get you 10 soccer balls. I'm finna go get you some cones, some pylons, and we finna go out here and we finna perfect your craft, what you're good at.
Exactly. Practice makes perfect.
I think too many times just our parents just try to live out their fantasies through their children, whatever that
Yeah.
be, whatever that looks like. Even to how the kids are being dressed, it's whatever the parent perceive. Like, you know,
Mm.
It's
Hey, the
and
way
it's
they
so detrimental. Like my daughter, our daughter, used to wrestle. She wrestled for a couple years. Like she did really well too. I mean, she placed like second in her age bracket nationally. She placed like third statewide. But the thing that I saw with a lot of those parents, especially when it comes to weight classes, like, and I was watching kids 10, 11, 12 years old, like their parents like making sure they're cutting weight or making weight, so they're like not allowing them to eat, or they're literally making them throw like this. I
that's
mean,
crazy.
this you're doing this to a kid who's not even fully developed, but let's tell their mind and their body that this is what you should be doing. Go throw up because you got to make weight, otherwise you can't wrestle in this class. Like,
That's
it's
that's
like
mad.
society's got things fucked up, man.
you know
it's
what it
it's
seemed
bad.
like everything has to be perfect. Like the
Yes.
Yeah.
media made everything has to be perfect right now.
Mm.
Nothing can mature and become perfect. It has to be
Everybody wants to
perfect
force
right now.
things. Yep, people want to force things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my soccer team, Man United. Everyone wants everything to be perfect right now, but it don't work that way.
Well,
Right.
it's like we
Right.
talked on earlier. A lot of people these days, and I think it's it's that perception of we need that instant gratification. Well,
Yeah.
it depends. What's the goal here? Like,
Mm.
Mhm.
if your goal is to be, all right, let's say your goal is to be an Olympic wrestler. Well, okay, are you going to live your life from 10 years old all the way till up to your 20 whatever, trying to go to the Olympics by literally throwing up every weekend or every match to try and
Mhm.
catch some weight? That No, like you've got to have that long mentality, and I think that's where that instant gratification messes it up for a lot of people,
Yeah.
Right.
because that's what we're conditioned to be. John, you and I have talked about it. With your alliance, like people, the challenges with nonprofits in general, especially when you're trying to provide for the youth. If it's not making money, it's not sexy, right? But you get that you're in it for the long haul,
Hey,
because we know the
Changing lives.
value there. We know the value there, even if we're touching one person. You know what? That one person's
I was
eventually going to touch another
because
person.
I was that kid.
Hmm.
Mm.
For me to leave another child is for me to leave me. And I'm an adult and
Hmm.
I've
Mm.
been through. Why would I leave me? Knowing what I know
Exactly.
now. Every child is me, bro.
Yes.
There's
Real.
not a
Yes.
child that walked past me, bro, that I don't speak to, bro. Just imagine
Mm.
if everybody spoke to every single child they walk by.
Mm.
How would you think these children would be?
A lot better off. I
The
think there would be more
children just
confidence.
reflect what society has shown them.
Yep.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
The attitude that they give, that's the attitude that they receiving, that mirror from society.
Mm.
and you're right. All it takes is, and sometimes, you know what? It might be an acknowledgement of a 10-15 second conversation, or walking in the street. Hello, good morning. How you doing? Because that might not be something that's normal to those individuals as a young child.
And I know this. I always got the time to say hello and to smile and look a child in his eye. I don't care if it's a newborn or what, bro. It could be, 50 years old, right? But
Mm.
still, I'm gonna speak to that 50-year-old because that's somebody's child too.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, bro, like you wanna just a smile, bro. Just a hello. You don't know what that might do to somebody's day, bro.
exactly,
No.
because you don't know what's been going on with them. And to your point about communication earlier, I think a lot of people get it. Um, uh, it's a miscommunication from the standpoint that some people don't understand the levity or the breakdown of the communication process, right? And I love sharing this with people because 100% makes something whole, right? It's
Mhm.
essentially ends up being, because the first 40, it's 18% of the words you use. It is 27% of the tone of the words that you use, which leaves 55%, right? Because there's only three parts of the communication process, and 55%, or more than half of the communication process, is your body language, something you're not
Yeah.
even saying.
The
And
affects.
yes, yes, and it's wild to think about that. Like, not
Mhm.
even 55% of things that we're not even saying or doing is a big, big, big part of the communication process.
Yeah.
Smile, bro.
And like,
You speaking 1,000 words, bro, with a smile, bro. One thing is you
Yes.
saying is I'm open. That's the most important thing. When you smile, you're saying I'm open.
mm.
And it's going to make it easier for somebody to want to walk through
Approach it.
that door, pun intended. Exactly. um And I
Yes,
think it's
sir.
dope because getting to meet a new person, getting to learn about somebody, you are in some way, shape, or form, you're always going to learn something about yourself. That,
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
uh, that's that's at least what I believe in, anyways. Anybody I ever meet, whether it's a long term type of relationship, or just I meet somebody on a plane, on a wherever, at a whatever. Um, I try to learn something about myself, whether I'm trying to or not. It's
Mm.
there if you're aware enough as well. And I think that's the beauty of getting to meet new people, or like discover new music, for example, as well. It's about learning, because not only you're learning something new, but you're going to learn something new about yourself as well, or maybe relearn something possibly as well.
Mm.
Man,
I think that's the
that-
most beautiful thing in the world. Um, and that's to discover self, bro.
Yeah.
When you discover self, bro, like life becomes easy, bro. And when you discover a higher power, something greater than yourself, it becomes amazing, man, right? Um, but the path to self discovery, bro, is just is we used to have what we used to call rites of passage. We don't have rites of passage for our youth any, like for the kids anymore. It's like they go straight from the crib to adult,
mhm. It's
right?
just like, yeah,
There's
there's
no in
no in
between,
between.
right?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have that spring where you're going from spring to summer, in places where you at least have 4 seasons anyways. It's just like, all right, yo, it's cold as fuck, it's hot as fuck. We're there. We
Well,
went from 0 to 100 real quick.
that's because us men became hands off. We had our generations had men that had hands on, even if it wasn't a father, it was an uncle, it was a brother, it was somebody that was trying to make you tough, right?
Yep.
And we all probably didn't like his ass, but he did his job. Made sure we was, we had self-esteem and we had self-confidence, right? But
Mm.
we just, I think we failed the kids, bro. We failed to be present and show up as a community, even if the father wasn't there. Excuse me. We failed to show up for these kids, bro.
I agree.
So what, he didn't have a father? What about the brother? What about the dude next door? What about the other guy, the old man of the grandfather up the street? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be
Mm.
blood, bro. A kid gonna want to get love no matter where it's from, bro. They're not gonna be saying, "Oh, you're not my dad." You know,
Yep.
if
They
they
just
do,
want to
they
know it's
won't say it for
possible.
too long. If you keep showing up,
Mm.
they may
Mm.
say it in the beginning because hurt people, and kids, people that's hurt gonna say hurtful things, right? But if you keep showing up, man, they're gonna accept that love, bro, because that's all they want, bro. It's a
They'll realize
human,
who.
yeah, it's a
I
human
think it's
need to want love, man, to
well, it
be
is, and it
seen,
goes.
to be.
I was just gonna say real quick, it goes back to that conditioning, right? Like sometimes you might need a couple conversations, or you might need to fight that good fight to get through to that one individual because they've perceived so long nobody is gonna love me, and if they are trying to love me, maybe they want something out of it or whatnot. And I think you
Mm.
make you make a really another good point, right? Like, and it goes back to kind of a lot of what we've been talking about here today,
Mm.
in the sense that the conditioning, right? What society is trying
Mhm.
to dictate, and being the next human being, the next again, even if you're not family, the dude that lives next door, across the street, taking somebody under your wing in some way, shape, or form, especially if we're aware to the point where take the welfare system, and I want to bring up somebody who very well is quick, real quick. The beginning of X-rated track Can't Hold Us Down. There's an
Mhm.
intro where he's talking about the welfare system, right? And how the welfare system is basically designed in a way where it's like, yo, it's essentially designed if you need this extra help, or that perceived you need this extra help. Well, you can't have a whole home together. So, with the father, typically it's going to be the father in more cases than not that's going to leave the home. So, the family can reap, these quote unquote benefits to be helped. And he really breaks it down in a way in the beginning of that track where it is society, and whoever's controlling that shit is really breaking the family element apart, and it's just designed in a way just to keep that shit
It was,
reciprocal. And if
it
we
was,
know that
it,
enough, now
eh.
go ahead, go
Yeah.
ahead, go.
I mean, that started back in the late 50s when they created these projects,
Mm-hmm.
right, for people of color. And then they
Mm-hmm.
created this welfare system, this Medi-Cal, and this system that they wanted to see if they gave these people in this community, us African Americans, this certain amount of money, right, just barely enough to make it, would they leave the project?
Mm.
We never left the project. We became dependent on that. So to the point that
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm.
used it against our people to make sure that the black man will not be in the home, because he made sure that if you're on parole or probation, you cannot live under that roof with your
Mm.
child, with that woman, because they will take, right, her assistance away.
Mm-hmm. And then the advantage
And
that can
and
be
we got
taken
caught up
care
in
of.
the cycle of just being handed something. We just want to be handed something. We don't want to work for it, right? We don't want to work for it. It
Mm.
also made us not want to work. It made us dependent, to where I won't be dependent on my mate or my kid's father, or to be a partnership. I'm going to be dependent on the state and the county,
Mm.
because they're going to come through every month for sure on the 1st and 15th.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
our
that just
people is
adds to that
waking up.
conditioning.
The best thing that could have happened was COVID. because our people didn't understand. They didn't see. They needed to step outside themselves and look back and see what was actually going on, man.
Mm,
That's what a lot of things that happened since COVID, right? COVID brought a lot of truth out. A lot of
Hmm.
ugly was exposed through COVID, bro. Prisons, convalescent homes, all
Yep.
those type places, bro. These systems, right? That's why these stores are suffering right now. Because we found out that we can barter, that we
Yep.
can be independent, and we don't have to be dependent on anyone or anything. They found that out.
mm,
That was God, bro. There's
mm,
nothing in the world that can freeze the whole world at one time. Stop
It's true. And you know what? I was a part of that
the
in a
whole
sense,
world at one time,
just
bro,
like that.
and
Just
woke
like that.
everybody up, bro.
Yep.
There's been an awakening, bro.
Oh, very much so. And it's funny that you bring up convalescent homes because at the time when COVID hit,
Mm-hmm,
I was an executive director of
mm-hmm,
an assisted living facility, independent living, assisted living, memory care. I ran
mm-hmm,
145 apartment complex with like almost 200 people, right? And the experience for me briefly was, all this was going on. I was supposed to have two nurses in my building. I didn't have one nurse. I was supposed to have a dining services director. Didn't have that. And all this COVID shit is going on. They're keeping people from their families. They're not letting people into the building. Like, again, right in the beginning, I kind of get it. But when 3 months are going on and stuff like that, we were short on help. Like, I had never passed the medication. For anybody that's not familiar with the process, to pass medication, especially narcotic, you have to go through a training. Okay. Like, we were short people. My direct boss and my regional nurse. Okay. So we're talking a corporate place, right? Like, literally, we were playing with people's lives because they're like, I don't care if you've passed the medication before, you need to pass the medication, Mike. And I'm like, I don't really know about this. But again, now I'm put in a situation where I'm like, okay, well, if I don't do what they're telling me to do, the world's going to shit and going crazy right now. I need money for my family. I got to provide for my family. And it put me in a really peculiar situation. And then on top of it, I got no support. I was working 80, 90 hours a week. 80, 90 hours a week. I was living off of coffee, cigarettes, and booze. I would eat only when I
mm,
needed some energy to get through it. But again, it was
mm,
that conditioning. And finally, I just woke up one day. I talked with my wife, and I was like, yo, I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, I can't. I literally felt myself going crazy. I knew it. I literally was going crazy. And, at the time, because I've worked, I'm 43 now. I've worked since I was 11 years old in my life. Okay. And
mm,
I had never left the place, corporate, mom and pop, whatever. I always gave my proper notice. But it finally came to a head where I said, fuck it, I'm done. And I quit. Immediate quit. I didn't give no notice. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And the whole point of that was not just specifically that, but the fact that we're talking about elderly individuals, and this corporate company, all they cared about was rent being fucking due. They're $5,000 per person, $10,000 if it's in dementia care, coming through every month. Yet
not
you wouldn't
surprised.
allow me to hire extra medication individuals, which I had unlocked to
Mm,
properly make sure that these people's health is being taken care of. Yo,
bro.
come on, man.
This
That's
cattle like prison, bro.
Preston.
yep,
That's dollar signs, bro. Them are not
yep.
human beings, bro.
Especially the private prisons. Like, come on. Like, are you kidding me?
All of them is
And
the
it,
same.
Making a business off of a prison. That's fucked up, man. Like,
That's
come on.
no, that's
But
California's
it's
prison
it's true.
is our business. Everybody in there is cattle, bro. They come with a pay number.
You're just a number. You are literally anywhere you are, whether you're in the monastery, whether you're in work, you got an employee ID, right? You're everybody at the end of why do you think you're given a social security number at birth?
Mhm.
Because at the
Right.
end of the day, people, we're just a number.
So what
mm,
happens with our social security number while we in prison?
That's a good question. What just sits
nothing.
there?
Just
Because
restart
it's
that right there, big dog, and get at me, man.
like it's the design of the system. It's broken. It's all broken. And well, think about it from this perspective. We talked about this with Groove a couple weeks ago, man. Like we were talking briefly, John. We're not going to go into it too much, and we'll start to wind it down here real quickly, so we can get to some hip hop history. We'll definitely get into hip hop takes, but I know you're on your way to go visit Ma Dukes as well, so we want to make sure we respect that time, and you get as much time in with Ma as well today. But from the standpoint of the Second Amendment, okay, like listen, you have a right to bear arms, okay, but listen, the Second Amendment was made what 250 years ago when people had to load their muskets and shit. Like it's not the same today as it is now. The internet is not the same today as it was 30 years ago. Like the design of the system, it's just broken. I feel almost every system out there is just straight up broken, and nobody wants to put the time in to fix it because it doesn't meet the overall agenda. It doesn't make money. It won't make money. It's not sexy enough, and so we're just going to let it be what it's going to be, and we're just going to deal with what's right in front of us instead of taking that 30,000 foot view and fixing it. Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, but fuck, man, excuse my language. Somebody's got to take the time to really start putting that shit together. The people, exactly,
need to take their power back, bro.
Yes.
We letting individuals run our country, bro, that don't have our best interests at heart. We don't need them, bro.
Nope.
We have each other, bro.
And that's a fact. And the quicker people realize that and can keep that network together, the better off people are be. Like I would love for a day where I could just live off the grid in a community of like-minded individuals, and you've got that bartering system going on, and it's just the best way to live, because then you don't got to worry about no bullshit, man. Like
exactly.
Fair exchange ain't never a robbery, bro.
Say that one more time for the people in the back, John.
Fair exchange is never a robbery. So when I give you something, you give me something back. There's no issues, bro.
Yep.
No.
They created a borrowing system. You know you're in trouble if you borrow something, right? They created a borrowing system that they whip us with, right? Then they get us married, and then they whoop us for our
that carrot, and then if they don't like it, they're gonna smack us with that carrot and then dangle it in front of us again.
Until you people wake up.
And the crazy thing is, all this information is out there, but people just choose to keep them blinders on. But hey, I guess that's your life to live, right?
Hey, man, I have faith in the people, man. I really do. I believe in the people, man. In my heart, I feel the change. I see it. I'm not only pushing it and being a part of it. It's like I'm caught up in it because I feel the current, the undercurrent. I'll be telling people all the time, the average person don't know what's being pushed politically, or where you don't frequent. It's things being pushed and advocated for that we have no idea that's being pushed and advocated for. Simply because we lack the communication. Us people don't talk to us people. We don't talk to each other, bro.
That's a true story.
And if we do, we talking about bullshit that don't matter.
Yep.
I don't give a damn what happened with Drake. I don't give a damn what happened with none of these people. I'm still watching the White House. I'm still watching my community. I'm not going to be sidetracked by none of that. What we going to do for the kids? I'm staying right there. If Drake ain't doing nothing for the kids in my community or for the kids, I don't care about him either. I don't care about nobody ain't doing nothing for the community and for the kids, bro. We need to start our own game.
I like that.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. Community, the kids, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, because somebody has to really do it, though, right? Like somebody has to take that on. It's like, it's funny in watching the movie last night, and I had never really and granted, it's been a minute since I've seen I Am Legend, but there's one point Will Smith is in the movie. He's explaining a story about Bob Marley, right? And Bob Marley got gunned down at his house. People came out looking for him, got shot, survived, and he actually went out and performed 2 days later. And Bob
Mm.
Marley was asked, "Why did you were just shot? You were looked for. They came to your house, shot you, and you're out here performing 2 days later. Why?" And his foundational belief was that you could change the society, you could change society and culture as a whole through the injection of love and music. Right? That was Bob Marley. Anybody that knows Bob Marley well
Mm.
enough, and the long and short of his answer ended up being, "Well, the bad guys are coming out every single day, which means I've got to be out here every single day because they're not taking a day off. The bad guys aren't
Mm.
taking a day off, which means, us who are trying to help the people, the youth specifically, see the light and let the light in. We can't take a day off because all that negative shit going on in the world, it's never taking a day off.
No.
It's
Right.
going to happen whether we want it or not, and we got to fight that good fight day in and day out,
Life
just like
is
you said, 24/7, 365 earlier, John. And that's a fact. If that's something that you sign up for, you got to be prepared for that, and that's something that you
right.
are clearly prepared for. And I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. I sign up for that day in, day out, and there's
Mm.
strength in numbers. You just got to find that
Yes,
right
sir.
tribe. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I really believe, man, our people ready to stand up and push. I see the movement, bro. I have a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters that's really pushing in California, man. Um, and they
Mm.
trying, and we pushing to other states too, and in communication with other states, man. Everybody's feeling the same way. I see that rise finna happen. Um, a triumphant rise, bro, in the people, bro.
Mm.
I, I see it happening. I'm a humanist, man. I think there should be a humanist party, right?
Yeah.
I'm for whatever's right for human as a whole, bro. Right?
Yes.
We need a humanist party, bro. I'm not a
I like that.
Republican or a Democrat. I'm a humanist.
Yes.
I'm for the
I'm
people, man.
And that's how it has
Hmm.
to be. That's how it has to be. I'm a firm believer in that, man.
Yeah.
Oh, golly.
Isn't it?
So here's what I'm gonna do. Before we get into hip hop history, I'm gonna formulate this hot take. I'm gonna formulate this hot take, and then we're gonna get into a little hip hop history, if that's okay with you, John.
You do your
Um,
thing, bro. Let's get it.
and then what we'll do is we'll just take a couple thoughts on hip hop history, anything that jumps out to you, John. But
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think the long and short of we're gonna do a fill in the blank today. I think we just want to keep it short and sweet, especially with the topic that we're talking on. So, John, I'll let you fill in the blank first, and again, expand on as much or as little as you feel the need to for filling in this blank. And we're gonna go like this: being a humanist and just moving as a person who has just respect for a human being or human beings in general is necessary because, and I'll repeat that again real quick, discreet, so you pay attention too. So,
Mm.
being a humanist and just having a general care and respect for human beings in general is necessary because. Go ahead and fill in the blank for us, John.
For one, to save your soul,
Hmm.
because
Yes.
there's something
I.
after this. First and foremost, I know when I get in line, when this is over, I'll be like, God, let me get what you got coming for me, man. I'm not gonna be hiding, man, because I know what I gave to the world, and I know who I was to the world, and I know God gonna be proud of me for who I was.
Mm.
So that's first. And second is for you, right? When you do good, when you do something for other people, the reward is really not for the other person, it's for you.
Mm.
I give because I'm filled because I give, bro. It is an addiction. It's a high for me to help someone, bro. It's a high to
No.
know drugs can match. I smoke marijuana, it can't go,
Mm.
That's a fact.
right?
That's a
Um,
fact.
and it's infectious, man. It's good for the soul. It's good for the spirit. If people say like you look so young, I say,
Mhm.
man, that's given. That's given every day. Remember, I said I'll never pass a child, an elder, anyone else.
That's
They
why the
may not
stress
speak
ain't on
to
your
me,
face.
but I speak.
That's why you can't see the years
Yep.
of stress. Because yeah, it makes sense, John. It fucking does, man.
Nah,
We
man,
control our destiny in more ways than one, bro. And
yes.
Mm,
that's why God tell you to love your brother, because loving your brother is loving yourself. Because if you can look
mm,
into someone else, if I can look into both of your eyes and see my brother, bro, I damn sure love me, bro.
mm.
I'm
It's
with
so
that. Man, that was
mm.
so well put. So well put.
Yeah,
It's for self, bro.
It is.
When
It
you do
is.
good for others, bro, and you give back, bro, you get reward tenfold, bro. I say I
mm,
don't have money. Nope. Nope. Need it? Yep. To be able to do the things I want to do, but is it necessary for me to be happy and do the things I do? Hell no.
Nope.
no,
Because my reward you can't pay for.
no,
And it's nothing that could
It's
ever be
through
taken
that
away either.
deed.
Nothing that could ever be taken away.
Never. That's about
I
that
know.
remember about incarceration is of the mind.
Yep.
Mm,
No one controls what you do, bro. No one, if you want to go piss, if someone else wants you to go piss, they can't make you go piss, bro.
no.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I like
Mm.
that. Discreet,
You
you ready to give
control
your hot
you,
take?
man.
That's so true. Discreet, you ready? You ready? I'll go ahead and
Yeah,
repeat
I'm
that. I
ready.
want you to fill in your blank. Good luck following that up too, bro. I'm kidding. It's
Innit?
your hot
Say it
take. Here we
again. Say
go,
it
bro. Here
again.
we go. Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. So being a humanist and just having a general foundational respect for human beings is necessary, or excuse me, being a humanist and having a
Yeah.
general care and respect for human beings is blank.
Simply because God is watching. Like, because you know what I mean, that's all He wants us to do. He don't give a fuck if I'm the best DJ in the world. Like, it's helping people, like John said. I mean, yeah, if I was a DJ and I made everyone happy that night, I suppose I've done a good job there. But you know what I'm getting at. You know what I mean.
For sure.
It is. It's
Mm.
about the feels that you're giving off, and that
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
part of what you said
Being the
about like,
best isn't important. Being the best isn't important. It's how you make people feel.
Mhm. Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely,
that's
absolutely.
yeah.
Um, and I'll fill in the blank this way. I think being a humanist and having a general foundational respect for other human beings
Mm,
is, I will fill in the blank by saying, in all of us, even the most asshole of persons, even, somebody that, has caused some kind of destruction in some way, shape, or form. There's something in all of us, good, bad. It's just a
mm,
matter of what part of us are we going to be fostering, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
And I think it's necessary for people to understand that, because we talked about it a lot. It's the conditioning. It's John, when we were talking earlier in this conversation, where people get conditioned to the point where they feel like, because they've experienced so much in their life, that they've been hurt by somebody else. That's just the way it goes. I got to hurt somebody else, whether it be a
Mm,
mental hurt, a physical hurt, excuse me, or needing that feel of instant gratification as well.
mm,
But if you can be aware to the point of knowing that something is in you, and that light is in you, then, well, you know what? You just gotta maybe screw the bulb in a little more. You gotta water that seed a little more, because it's not going to happen
mm.
overnight, And I think it is in all of us. It's just a matter of what feelings and thoughts that we're going to foster as a human being in the time that we do have here on this earth.
Mm. Very true.
You know. So I'll digress on that. That is our respectful hot takes today, influenced, of course, by our special guest, John Windham today, and that's going to lead us right into hip hop history. So, John, if you got about another 5-10 minutes, man, we're going to kind of just go through our hip hop history, and then we'll get some final thoughts on the show, and we'll let you get on to some time with Mom today. But Discreet's
Yes,
just going to go ahead and just read off anything that's happened this week as a whole in hip hop history. So, and then
30th
typically
of
what we do
September
is
from the 6th of October
okay,
in the
cool. So the
history of hip
very end
hop.
is perfect. So, from what Discreet reads off, John, if there's anything that kind of sticks out to you that you want to speak on, a memory, where you were in life is something that just really hits you. Take 2 to 3 or however many you want, bro. It's your show today. You take however many you want, and anything that comes up or reminds you of something from history of hip hop, you go ahead and speak on it, and we'll respectfully let you go first, and then Discreet, I'll go next, and then as always, we'll let you clean up,
Yeah,
hip hop history there. So without further ado, Discreet, let us know what we got to speak on for hip hop history this week.
right on. Well, I'll go birthdays first. And Marley Marl, the legend, he was 62 on Monday. On Wednesday, Proof of D12, he would have been 51 years old. Rest in peace. On
For sure.
Thursday, Black Thought of the Roots was 53. Also on Thursday, Talib Kweli was 49. Friday, Cut Chemist was 52. And also on Friday, Russell Simmons was 67. But that was birthdays.
Okay.
Releases October 1st. No, in 1991, Public Enemy released.
Simmons, bro,
Oh,
to getting into music, bro. Him and Melly Mel, bro. That was
yeah. I
what
couldn't
sparked
believe
me, bro.
he's 67. I thought he's younger.
Crazy,
Hey,
yeah.
yo, man, yoga will work the body good, man. Yoga will work the body good for sure.
Exactly.
Uh, did you say you got some releases Discreet? You got some
Yeah,
releases to
yeah. There's a
discuss real
few
quick too?
releases.
All right, what do we got?
Public Enemy released their fourth album, Apocalypse 91, The Enemy Strikes Black. Idea and Abilities released their debut album, Firstborn. Jedi Mind Tricks released their second album, Violent by Design. Common released his second album, The Resurrection. Atmosphere released their fourth album, You Can't Imagine How Much Fun We're Having. That title is way too long.
Yes, yes, it is.
4th of October, 98. Sorry, they're just there if you want to ask. But Ultra Magnetic MCs released their debut album, Critical Beatdown. Inspector Deck released his debut album, Uncontrolled Stance, should I say. Roxanne Shante released her second album, The Bitch Is Back. Common released his debut album, Can I Borrow a Dollar? And Cypress Hill released their fourth album, 4. Well, the Roman numerals 4. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But that's it.
I wanted to
All
give
right.
out shout outs to Common, man, because Common
Yes.
coming to the penitentiary, man, and he do the work, bro. He show up, bro, and I
Damn.
want to give props to that brother walking these prison yards in California, man, and doing the work that he do with the brothers inside, man. I want
Damn.
to give a
Did he
big
visit
shout out and
Will
salute
you
to him
was
for
there?
that. Huh?
Did he visit the monastery while
San
you was
Quentin?
there, John?
Yeah, San Quentin. He stayed coming up in that thing, man. You know, San Quentin
Brilliant.
had a
That's
lot of
awesome.
people coming back and forth into that monastery, bro. I think all prisons and monasteries should be open because they would change uh all prisons to become monasteries if they allowed that to happen.
Mm,
It's
That's
I
what's
very
like
up.
impactful, bro, to have the free world go
that.
inside and remember what I said about that communication and communicate
Mm,
with the brothers and sisters inside and let them know that you loved, right? That you
mm,
forgave, bro, that like we get it, right? And how can we help you be better?
mm,
Yes, it's
You know
about
what I'm
giving that
saying?
strength to the next person.
Yeah, because like society, like we pay for those prisons. We
mm,
pay the officers to arrest our people and put them in prison. and then we pay to hold them there. So
Mm,
why in society, what would you pay for in society, right? That you don't utilize yourself, or you don't access, or you don't see, or you don't deal with.
mm,
It's kind of like buying a car, right? But leaving it on the lot, but you paying the monthly note on it, you paying insurance, and you paying everything on that car, but you never driving it.
mm.
You trust the people at the lot gonna take care of your car.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do with prison.
Yeah.
We trust that they gonna do whatever they should, whatever they're doing is right. Is that right?
Yeah, and it ain't very good what they're doing because they're drugs running through them and all sorts. But maybe if the public got involved, that might not happen so much.
No one pays for something, right? I know neither one of y'all are paying for anything that you have no dealings with, bro.
Mm.
Everything costs something.
Yep.
Why are we trusting these people to treat our people fairly and humanely when it's
Mm.
proven that they never have?
No,
There's
And with
no,
real
no.
and with no real checks and balances either. If you really think
Mm.
about it, there's no checks and balances. Nobody
who,
really knows.
who when you run the media, mass manipulation again, when you run the
Yep.
media and you depict the person as a villain, do anyone cares about what happens to the villain?
Nope.
Nope.
Because they get
So
what's
why would
coming to
they
them,
care
what they
about what
deserve.
happens
Yep.
to people inside prisons when they done vilified everybody that went to prison
Mm.
without even knowing the facts
The
about the
story.
crime?
Yep.
All they have to do is say that person did that, or they
Yeah.
say like, they convicted them. That's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's not hard.
No.
No, because you control it. Because if you control the information, you control the story. That's what it comes down to. That's exactly
Hey,
what it comes down to. It's wild,
Very
I'm just
true.
saying.
man.
Proof
It's
thought,
wild.
proof thought, proof thought.
No, absolutely. Anything else? And yes, for real. Shout out to Common and anybody else that's doing that, because I know that's something
Yes,
that you
sir.
still partake in yourself, John, as well. Being able to give back to the people that are still in the monastery, getting educated along the way, and being free
I have to go
for
back,
when they
bro.
had that same opportunity as you've had in life as well. Anything else stick out for you from what Discreet mentioned out? A release, an artist that he might have mentioned from back in the day that jogs any kind of memory or a time in your life from what he mentioned on hip hop history?
Um, Tribe Called Quest, man.
Mm.
That's when that came out, I was on my way to prison
Damn.
when they came out.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I might want to hear that because that's been like 36 years.
yeah, yeah. Let me see. 91,
Yeah,
About
91.
30,
Was it, Public
34,
Enemy, you mean?
34, 35 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
And that music helped me through a lot of the stuff that I was going through in there too. A lot of hip hop music that had a positive and a strong message helped me in that monastery, bro.
3 years
It's
ago,
a
that
lot of
was.
R&B. It's a lot of music that helped me through that monastery. And we taking the positive out of music and making it all negative. And if we can't use that, bro. We need to
Mm.
get back to positive music, bro. Cause I tell you, I was able to meet Life Genius and tell him, bro, you helped me, bro. I did 31,
And
bro, and it was your music, bro, that helped me get through the end of that, bro.
that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
31 years.
Yeah, bro. Like music was, that's another thing from God, bro. It's a gift. It's a vibe. It's an energy. It's everything, bro. It's us. We all have a
Yeah, yeah.
vibration in our body, bro. Everything living, trees, bushes, roses,
And
humans, everything has a vibe, bro.
yes,
It
that is
has
so
a
true.
natural beat.
yep.
Yeah.
And we just have to stay tapped into that, man. I stay tapped into it because I know that's what soothes my soul, bro.
Exactly. That is so true. It really
It
is.
really is. And I think, I think for me, I'll segue right off of that. I think for me, what really stands out, of
Yep.
course, there's definitely a couple specific people and individuals or releases that stand out to me. But just to kind of add to what you were saying, John, I think it's important for people to realize like the music, the art, the creative is a very important tool for individuals to work through things, right? To work through emotions, good, bad, or otherwise. Because it's a way where we can share ourselves, give ourselves to people. But conversely, somebody who might not consider themselves a creative, I think there's a message in the music if you're willing to like really listen to it,
You know what I
right?
Yeah.
tell X-Rated and SIBO?
What's that?
I
Debo,
tell
shout out to see.
I tell for sure, my loved ones, X-Rated and Bo, man, stay looking for it, man. Brother Lynch, X-Rated, Bo, T
Oh,
Nutty.
see,
Uh,
yeah.
we they coming together, bro, and it's gonna be something hot, bro. It's gonna be something beautiful for the
That's
community, bro,
exciting.
for the people, bro. Uh, but I tell them all the time, bro, that you are like a prophet. You're like a modern day prophet, bro.
Yeah.
Thousands of people are listening and following your word,
Yeah.
bro. You must be impeccable with your word, bro.
Mm,
Yes.
Have a responsibility, bro, because you're leading them.
that is so true. You say something, they're going
Modern
to
day,
believe
bro.
it.
Modern
Modern
day
day, bro.
prophets. And what I love about those two individuals that you mentioned and people that they're associated with in general, especially on the music side. Shout out to Strange
Mhm.
Music, of course, as well.
Yes,
It's
sir.
real. It's
Tech
real.
Nine.
It's
Shout out.
authentic, and for real, modern day prophets. Like,
Hmm.
and also, they're humans as well. They have experiences to speak on. Like, not
Mm.
many people can say that they've recorded full albums through through a monastery phone. Like,
Isn't it?
come on, bro. Like
Everybody
that's just
differently. Like I think, I think, like for me, I write. I'm into all that, but I only write things I've been through. I'm
hmm
kind of
Yeah.
like
Real.
sharing my story. I don't do
Mm.
yes,
fiction. Like
No.
I'm not killing 100 people with one bullet. I'm not killing anyone with any bullet because that's not what I'm doing.
yep,
Mm.
And I think
man,
we need more courage, um, of brothers to stand up and continue to push a positive message and not sell out to a negative message because it pay. Right now it pay, but in
Mm.
the end you lose.
and you really gotta worry about, is the value really there? I mean, there's one thing that a former supervisor, boss, whatever he was of mine, years ago, and he would say the same thing in like every training to somebody new coming on. He's like, "Yo, I got $500 in my pocket right now. Who wants it?" A lot of people, new people will be like, "Oh yeah, sure, give me $500." Okay, cool, I'll give you $500. One condition though: you take this five
Mm-hmm.
hundred dollars, you walk out that door, you never come back. So
Mm-hmm.
again, where's really the value? Do you want that instant value,
Exactly.
or do you want,
We talked about that
like you
short
just say,
term gain for
you
long term pain,
Mm.
instant gratification.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and
That.
and I think that comes through in a lot of the history as well from what you spoke on discreet. And I'm going to turn it on to
Mm.
you real quick to get your thoughts, because you mentioned the likes of Roxanne Shante, which you know how I feel about Roxanne Shante. Yo, she's a
Mhm.
bad woman.
For
I
Yeah.
sure,
bet you
for
there
sure.
wouldn't be, if she really wanted to like get at it today, I bet you today there would not be many. There would
That
not be
title
many
says it
females.
all, doesn't
There
it?
would be a lot of
The big
females that
is
would not
that.
be able to touch Roxanne Shante. Yo, she
Yeah.
brought it. Again, Public Enemy, Common was
Mm-hmm.
mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, these
Cypress
are
Hill.
people who put out an authentic message.
Yeah.
And, and I will always support and get behind somebody who is bringing the authenticity of their message, of their story, of their life, what they're sharing in the message,
Common definitely
because
Mm-hmm.
did that. Still does it.
that's real, because it's real, and I love
Mm.
realness. Because there's not a lot of it out there these days, not even
And
close. So the more I find it, the more I want just to know
And it's
about
so
that, and
crazy.
I will card with you.
It's so crazy because we owe each other that.
Yes,
Mm.
We owe each other the real, bro. Like, and yet it's uncommon, bro. We shouldn't even be having to say those words, bro.
I know.
but unfortunately we do. It's like why people, why they have to put the warning label on hair dryers. Don't dry your hair when you're in the shower or the bath, because you know what? Somebody along the way, maybe multiple somebodies, have done that.
Mm.
It's just
Mm.
But
crazy.
you know what I look at? I count the successes, not the failure.
Yes,
Unless there's an over abundance of failures to where it's overshadowing the successes, we look at the successes because just everybody's like I just say everybody's elevator don't go to the top, bro.
Yeah.
And those people that we got to treat them with love and decency and treat and deal with them in a different manner, bro.
absolutely.
Mm.
I can appreciate that. Very
But
much
they can't
appreciate.
stop us from pushing for right, bro.
I know.
Never. And the more
Simply
that we
because
have
they
out here doing.
disagree, you know?
And again, disagree with it. What I like about disagreements, as long as you can have a real conversation, an open-minded conversation with somebody, disagreements brings learning. It brings education,
Yeah.
which means collectively that's just going to make things better. If you can just like, not, again, opinions are like assholes, right? Everybody has one, right? But
Right.
if you truly
Everybody.
understand that there's strength in getting educated and learning new things, that's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing, because that's how we level up. That's how we get
Exactly.
better as an individual,
Mhm.
as a group of individuals, as a society, whatever the case might be. And I think that's very much spoken to hella a lot what we talk about today, and certainly through hip hop history. So with that said, I'll digress. Discreet, any thoughts that you want to share generally or specifically for what you read off to hip hop history today?
I mean, yeah, big shout out to Cypress Hill. I love them coming up listening to hip hop. They were one of my first influences. But for the same reasons really as John mentioned about Common, Talib Kweli as well.
Oh
Same reason.
yeah.
He loves spreading that message of positivity,
Mm-hmm.
and he's one of my favorite rappers as well.
Black Thought as well, you said. Yep.
Yeah, and like I love his voice as well. He's got such a unique voice for rapping. I find it's very much the same reason why I love Redman as well. It's the voice. It's something about the way they deliver. But
And
yeah, that's it from.
that man, that was the thing about being an artist back then and being hip hop. You wanted to keep
Mm,
your own individuality. You didn't want to sound like
yeah,
nobody else.
Yep.
exactly.
Now
And
it's
a
like
lot
a
of today's
fad
artists all
to
sound the
sound like
same.
somebody else.
Mm. But they all sound the same today. All these artists, I find the young ones anyway.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
what it is. They're living off someone else's image
Yes.
Mm.
And they're losing themselves in the process, which
and not
Yeah,
is the worst
understanding
what
part
that
of it.
they're
I'm
great.
going to do
They
the
don't
same.
understand. They do not understand that they are great alone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Our
exactly.
young men and women need to understand that they're great alone.
Mm. So true.
100% true, man. 100% true. Damn. Mm.
They just
Mm.
need to stand on that.
It is.
That's it.
No, I
They
appreciate
just need
that.
help
Well,
standing on that, bro.
sometimes you just got to be shown the light. And I do. I
We've
mean,
had
we
some
talked about
wise
it a lot
words
today.
today. Love it.
I think it's something that we all owe to ourselves first and foremost, like you were talking about earlier, John. But we do.
Mm-hmm.
We owe it to the next human being that's out there
Mm-hmm.
as well. Show them a little
Mm.
something, man. What they do with that's their choice of what they choose to do. But it's wild out here, that's for sure. But we're gonna start winding out. We're gonna start winding down here. We're gonna let you get on with the rest of your day, John. But before we do, Discreet and I and all the outsiders, we want to very much again thank you for your time.
Yes,
The
thank
door
you,
is
John.
always open here, always open here. But man, any final thoughts you want to leave with the people today before you go and get some time in with my Dukes today?
Man, if I could just ask everyone, bro, just take the time, man, to speak to whoever you happen to come across, man, or smile. It
Mm.
don't matter if they don't speak back. It don't matter if they don't look at you. right? It just matters that you spoke to them, and maybe that resonates in a way that may change their life, man, and may also save someone else's.
Mm.
Amen to
Just
that.
be mindful, man. You know, that's what I say. Be mindful of each other, man. And
Def-
that's it, bro. That's like to be mindful of the next man in all
I
that you
think I
do.
might make it my mission tomorrow because it's quite late on here today. Like every day, just go out and make one person smile, and then tell them they've got to do the same thing.
The hell with
Do you know what I
that
mean?
one person. You encounter 20 people. We're not going with that. Just save 1 out of 10. I'm not saving 1 out of 10.
That
I'm
is
saving all
possible.
10.
Yeah,
I'm saving all 10, bro. I'm not
that's
saving
the
one.
no,
Which
no,
one do I save out
fucking
the
all of
10?
them.
Very fair point. You at least got to take a swing at all of them, right?
I know
Swing at
some
all of them,
people
bro.
though.
You'd be
I got,
surprised how
on
many
a Mon-
fish you catch, right? When you
and
throw
I
that
tell you
pole
what
out
though,
there,
bro.
bro.
On a Monday morning, I know there's a few people I'm going to cross who ain't going to smile back. Monday morning at work.
But you know what?
I did that.
But you can't control that. You can't
That
control
you do
that.
your part.
Yep.
Hey, bro, I was with in my neighborhood. There was this staunch racist, bro. He had the
Mm.
like 15 feet Trump signs on the side of his house. He had the Confederate flags all over his house, bro. I spoke to that motherfucker every single day for a year, bro, and smiled at him every day for a year until he said, "Man, fuck you, man. How the hell are you, bro?" Like,
No way.
I love it.
Oh,
I
wait.
and they
love it.
was like, "Wait a minute, bro. That dude came to your house. He spoke to you." I said, "Yeah, bro. He better come speak to me. I've been speaking to his ass for a whole year, bro. But I really meant what I was saying. Have a good day,
Yes.
bro. I don't care about what
Mm.
you going through, right? My thing is to make sure that I can impart something positive on what you may be going through, right?
And,
And that's to have a good day because it's a choice, bro. We choose how we choose to feel. You can choose to feel like an ass, choose to be angry, you can choose to be discontent, or you can just choose to be happy, bro. It's just a choice, bro.
mm,
Absolutely.
Simple as that. It's a
definitely.
And we
choice.
control that. We control that. That is one thing we do
No
control.
one
The
else
choices
does,
that we
bro. I
make.
can put a gun to your head, bro, and tell you I'm gonna blow your brains out. You don't have to smile, bro. I can't make you smile, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's a choice, bro. And when you
And,
choose to smile, you choose to love you, bro.
mm,
Big
Period.
facts.
I'm gonna end
Big
with that
facts.
right there.
Appreciate you.
thank you,
John,
John, man.
ladies and gentlemen, John Windham, to others out there, aka OG
Mm.
Dunie. My man, yeah, bro, for real. I appreciate you. We all appreciate you here outside today. And
Definitely.
man, you and me are locked in like this, bro. We definitely gonna talk because this is the start of a beautiful, beautiful friendship and
Hey, bro,
relationship, my
I'm out
brother.
there, bro. I'm out there, bro. I'm coming to see both of y'all, bro. That's on my agenda, bro.
Done. Well, and on that note,
Thank
I
you
might
so
actually
much,
be out in
John.
Cali
Appreciate
next
you.
month, possibly. So we're gonna make it happen more ways than
Pull
one,
up,
bro. That's for damn
pull
sure.
up. I got you,
Damn
bro.
sure.
Pull up. I got
Man,
you.
100%, bro. John, hey,
Got a
yo,
room
you
for
go
you and
have a beautiful
everything, bro. You ain't
done.
gotta pay for no hotel. I got a room for you and everything.
Perfect.
Come on
I'm with
out,
it.
bro.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna hold you to that, bro. But hey, we want you to go have some beautiful time with my Dukes today. Enjoy
Yes,
all the
yes,
beautiful
sir.
people that you're gonna encounter, be around. And man, and I already know you ain't gonna do this, but I'm gonna say don't ever change being you, bro, because you're a
I
beautiful
definitely
human
will.
being, and you're definitely somebody I
Yeah.
can fuck with for the rest of my
I
life,
am
bro. So nothing but
grateful for
respect
meeting John today,
and love,
man.
bro.
Man, a pleasure, bro. It was an honor,
Mm.
man. Anytime you want to have my face on this screen, man, you're welcome to tap in and let me know. All I tell you, just let me know the date. That's it.
Yes, sir. And that goes vice
Mm.
versa. Anytime you want to open that door, it's always unlocked for you, bro. If you got something to
Yes,
say and
sir.
you want to say it to the masses, you just let us know. You're always welcome outside with us, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you. Johnny, you enjoy the
Y'all be
rest of your day,
Thank
blessed.
you,
bro. We will
John.
definitely be talking soon, man.
Salute.
Yes, sir.
Salute you, man. Thank you. He's a star, man. He's awesome.
Absolute star. Absolute star right there. He's gonna get off so he can go spend
Positive
time with
attitude.
Ma. And I can let you off, John, too, if you're having any issues there. I'll get you off camera this way, respectfully. And then Discreet, you still there with me?
I'm still there, but I've lost you, not John.
Oh, no, I got you. Hold on one second. I just hit the wrong button. That's all I did. That's all I did. All right, we're gonna respectfully mute John, and I'm gonna try to get him out of here just so he can get on. There you go. He's still in the studio. He'll have to end up getting off on his end as well, but respectfully, so we can at least start getting his time in with his mama, spend that beautiful time today. And he bounced. We're good. But
he's an awesome human being, man. I like what he said about no party. You know, I'm just a humanist.
I love that. Love that.
Do you know what I
mean? But that's the type of people that we're looking for when we're outside. So if you fit the bill of just being a genuine, authentic person, or you know somebody who would fit the bill, you don't have to be an artist. Like, we're looking for good people with a dope story to tell. And this is a platform to do it, because we outside, we have authentic, real conversations.
Exactly.
So reach out to us, because we'd love to have that, as part of our platform. So, but no, dope show today. Great human being. I'm lucky. You know, we are both lucky collectively to have met John and to start off that relationship. Because I know for a fact he will be back on the show again, 100%.
He's so damn swear.
Man, for real. But yeah, we're gonna start the wind down time here, Discreet. Let's maybe tell the outsiders what you're working on, what you got going on, any new things that you got going on artistically. I'd love for the outsiders to hear, and I can share some as well.
Well, when I was a teenager, I was into DJing. I used to DJ house music, and I'm going to get back into it with hip hop music, and it starts on Wednesday.
That's what's up.
But I'll fill you in more at a later date.
There you go. Which means, people, y'all need to go ahead and follow and subscribe to all of Discreet's pages. His Instagram, his Facebook.
Put the mixes up online. I will.
There you go. Because he's got his Discreet Productions website as well. So y'all need to tap into the Alien, because the Alien is making moves. I'm excited. I'm so excited about that. So excited about that. And then yeah, man. I mean, you kind of know what's going on. I'm releasing new music. I've got a bunch of music that I've not been too certain how I want to go about releasing, but I am releasing. I guess we'll see, because I'm gonna leave it up to the people.
Yeah.
So starting tomorrow, people, do me a favor. I need your help. I'm gonna be putting 2 tracks out there, 30 seconds anyways, 30 seconds of each track. One of them is titled Origin Story. One of them is titled, well, get this, We Outside.
Yeah.
Go figure. So this is what I need. I'm gonna let it go for a week. This is gonna be my week. New music. I'm gonna be sharing a bunch of music, unreleased shit, things I've released already. This next coming week, obviously, we're gonna let you know who the guests are gonna be for the We Outside show, which this coming Thursday at 1:30 Central Standard Time in America, 7:30 time in the UK. We're gonna have Marcus Shaw, who owns a financial services company. We're gonna have him pop out and talk to us. Next week, we got a producer, an influencer, C Real the Genius. Shout out to C Real. We got to get him joining us next Sunday as well. So this week on my pages, it's pretty much going to be We Outside and new music. That's what it's going to be about. But I need people's help out there, because I want to know, do you want me to release Origin Story or We Outside next?
Origin Story.
All right, so I got the streets vote. I got the streets vote of the Origin Story. So tune into my pages tomorrow. I'm going to throw some polls out there. I definitely want to hear what y'all think. And while you're there, go check out my Spotify as well. I got 3 tracks out there right now: Letter to the West, Class of '99, and Abstemious. So go check out the stuff I already got on there. And I'm going to put a lot out there. I'm going to give that Black Rob verse. I'm going to drop that out this week too. That Black Rob verse that I did. So I'm going to drop that and just put it out there. But I want to know what I should release next, officially and commercially. We Outside or Origin Story. And I need people's help out there. So go to my Wonder Mike pages. That's Wonder without the EMIC on Instagram.
WON
on Instabook, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then we of course got our YouTube channel. I've got my own personal YouTube channel. Discreet does as well. And then, of course, the We Outside Live podcast YouTube channel is available. We got 5 or 6 episodes already loaded. We load up a new one every single Wednesday. And which means this coming Wednesday, we're loading up another one. So we appreciate y'all tapping in with us. And we're just excited about the future of being outside, because it's a beautiful place to be. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
We know what you mean.
We know what we would do. In it. I digress, bro. Any final thoughts before we pop off here and close the door on the outsiders today?
Like I say, just be grateful. I'm like grateful we had John on today, and like what he had to say is just grateful for hearing that. And you just got to be grateful for every fucking thing, everything, because he's
very powerful person, and not for real. And no different than I said earlier. I try to learn something from every interaction that I have with a person, whether new or not. And I did so today with today's conversation. So again, on behalf of not only you and myself, but all the outsiders that tuned in to get with John Windham's story today. This will eventually be loaded up to YouTube as well. You could go watch it on Facebook for the next 30 days before it unposts itself automatically. If you want to hear the whole talk, because it was a dope talk, and that's we're going to keep bringing you realness here when we outside. So
fucking right.
That's it. Well, brother, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get going myself and get the rest of the day going. And we'll see everybody back here 1:30 on Thursday Central Time, and then Sundays 10:30 a.m. Central Time. So that's where we're at. Discreet. Be well, brother. We will talk later, my man.
We will, man. Peace, brother.
All right, brother. Peace.